Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Fight Talks. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about the main event of this last Saturday. I already made a video about the crazy robbery that happened to Shakur Foster in the co-main of this very same card. But today we're going to talk about Shakur Stevenson and his main event. On my previous video, I spoke to you guys about the robbery that happened at the co-main event to Shakur Foster. That was outrageous. If you haven't seen that video, I encourage you guys to go check it out. Today I'm gonna talk to you guys about the main event, Shakur Stevenson. He faced an opponent whose name is Artem. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the last name. I don't know. I wouldn't even know how to start, and I don't wanna disrespect the fighter, but his name was Artem. And Shakur Stevenson came into this fight as a minus 2,500 favorite. Artem came into this fight with a record of 12-1-0. And Shakur Stevenson came into this fight with a record of 21-0. So needless to say, everybody was expecting this to be a very one-sided fight, as they tend to be with Shakur Stevenson. Not many people have given him too many troubles. He is, to his credit, a very skilled fighter, one of the most skilled boxers in boxing today, in my opinion. In his previous fight, though, one of the guys that did give him a little bit of trouble was Edwin de los Santos, who he fought last November 16th. And it went to a unanimous decision, and that was very controversial itself. A lot of people thought Edwin got robbed. That fight, so you guys understand, that fight took place on a Thursday. And I say that as evidence to the bigger point that I'm going to throw out, the main topic of this video, which is not the fight itself. Shakur Stevenson just dominated this guy all 12 rounds, pretty much like the co-main event with Shakur Foster. The only difference is that the judges did get the right guy this time. They did give Shakur Stevenson the win. And on the co-main event, unfortunately, Shakur Foster was not that lucky. Though I must say, both performances were very similar in that they are both very skilled boxers, very hard to hit, very defensively sound, and they're just calculated and not prone to take too many chances if they don't have to. They're more likely to bank a lot of rounds because they can easily just do that. They'll just box you all night. The problem with that is that it's hard to look good against Shakur Stevenson, and that's really the main reason why a lot of fighters do not want to fight him. It's not because he's this big scary guy. He just doesn't make very exciting fights. He's not prone to take many chances. He doesn't have that devastating knockout power. He's just gonna box the whole night, outbox, shut down the other guy's offense. And if you're a boxing purist, if you like watching that, the very few people that like watching that, and they're out there, the hardcore boxing fans are out there, they will tune in for Shakur Stevenson. But in order to be a worldwide success, in order to be popular in the boxing world, you got to appeal to the broader crowd. You got to appeal to the guy that just happened to have ESPN Plus, and that Saturday night, he tuned in. He didn't know anything about anything. He didn't know Shakur Stevenson. He didn't know nothing. But he started watching the fight, and it was fun. It was entertaining. And that's the name of the game. Some of these fighters think it's good enough to have the skills, and that should immediately make them popular. And Shakur Stevenson has shown some frustration with this when he cannot get the big fights. He even retired not so long ago because of this. These guys don't want to fight you. And it's not because they're scared of you. They don't want to fight you because you're not making fun fights. Because you don't have a big name. You don't have a draw. You don't draw. People were walking out in your own hometown at the end of your fight, before your fight ended. They were walking out. That's your hometown. This is where you're supposed to be the strongest. Where your fan base is supposed to be the strongest. They were walking out. But again, instead of confronting reality, Shakur Stevenson started making tweets about who paid these guys to leave, etc., etc. He never takes accountability for this. He doesn't really care what the fans want. And that's a problem. Because if you look at the big stars, if you want to be a big star, and he has the skills to be a big star, you got to understand that entertainment nowadays is a huge factor. It's the biggest factor. If you look back in the past, if you look at the peekaboo style that Mike Tyson employed, for example, Costamado pretty much designed that for that type of fighter, a shorter, strong fighter. And he had fighters like Floyd Patterson and Jose Torres that fought in that same style before Mike Tyson ever got to it. It was Mike Tyson that made it the most popular, but that style already existed. One of the key elements of that style, stated by the man himself, Costamado, one of the main things about that style is about being entertaining. Okay? The greatest, as he called himself, Ali, understood this. Okay? He called himself the greatest. He's the one that really evolved the trash talk in boxing. He was very aware that the entertainment factor of boxing was one of the key ingredients to becoming great. A very similar situation of this has happened before in MMA. If you guys remember, and a lot of you guys won't remember because it's just not as recent, but Khabib Nurmagomedov, who many people consider to be one of the greatest, and that's not the conversation that I'm having today. I don't care if you think it's John Jones, George St. Pierre, BJ Penn, whatever. Khabib is considered to be one of the greatest MMA fighters ever. But his style was not entertaining. And up to the point where he fought Conor McGregor, he just wasn't that popular. He was the same guy. Same guy, same skills. He was pretty much the same guy when he came into the UFC as when he left. Same dude. Same skills. He didn't really change anything. You're talking about a guy that started fighting when he was a baby. His style did not change. And I can relate that to Shakur. Shakur is pretty much there. Shakur's not going to get any better. He's in his prime. This is it. This is his final product. That's it. And he doesn't have to. He's really good. He's one of the best. But again, his style is not entertaining. And a similar frustration happened with Khabib. Nobody wanted to fight him. He just didn't. You got to bring something more to the table than the punches. You got to be entertaining. You got to do it somehow. So Conor McGregor, when he fought Khabib, that's when Khabib really became a star, because that star from Conor McGregor rubbed off. But even then, he never arose to the level of stardom as Conor McGregor. And to a certain point, regardless if Khabib was a champ or a better champ or whatever than Conor McGregor, when he left, nobody really missed him. Because it was just that. It was just fight. It was just another interchangeable mediocrity. It's just another guy fighting. Even though he was really good, it's just another dude fighting. Meanwhile, Conor McGregor brings entertainment before the fight. During the fight, his fight style is exciting. He can talk his butt off. Like, he's just exciting. And it doesn't matter if he lost or won. People miss him. People are excited to see him again. People were bummed out when this fight with Chandler could not take place, and people are waiting to see him fight again. Everybody's super excited to see Conor McGregor fight again. So what I'm saying is this. At some point, you gotta be real with yourself. I'm not gonna give the champ tips. I'm in no position to do that. I'm just a guy with a microphone in front of his computer. I'm just a fan. But from looking at all this, I can say this. He probably should start listening to his fans. When they boo, he should probably take note of that. When the people start walking out, he should probably take note of that. When he finds himself defending or fighting for a world title on a Thursday night on free TV, you should take notice of that. Because these are key indicators that, bro, you're just not that popular. It doesn't matter. That's the only way you're gonna get the big fights. You can look at the Rolly Romeros, at the Ryan Garcias of the world, even the Devin Haney's. Devin Haney, say what you want, and even with this best thing, which I'm not a fan of, I'll make a video about that the other day. I don't agree with what he did with the results of the fight with Ryan Garcia. None of that. Devin Haney does bring entertainment. He's cool. The way he dresses, the way he talks, his press conference, he's cool. Even the little antics he had backstage with Ryan Garcia. So what? So where do we go from here, right? Well, I think you need to start. I think Shakur needs to start being real with himself and stop blaming the opponent. Oh, the opponent was just trying to survive. Oh, somebody paid these guys to leave the building. Oh, they don't want to fight me because they're scared. No. You really got to take responsibility for where you're at, where you're going. Otherwise, you're just going to stagnate. You're going to stay frustrated. That's my point on that. That's all I have for today. I don't even want to talk about that fight. He just dominated all 12 rounds. One, easy. Typical Shakur Stevenson fight. You don't even need to look it up. That's what it was. That's all I have for today, guys. Take care.